I'm Leonie from the Wool Baa and welcome to step 2 of our knitting series, the knit stitch. A really basic stitch, but you can do whole garments in it. It's such great fun, you'll love it. Step 2, learning the knit stitch. So when we've got our stitches cast onto our needle, we have those in our left hand, and then with our right hand we've got the vacant needle, the spare needle, ready to go. So instead of going between the last 2 stitches like we did with the casting on, this time we're going to go into the very last loop, so like into there. So we're going to wrap the yarn around the needle, pull it out of the loop, slip it off. In, under, over, out and 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 off. Now you notice what I'm doing when I'm putting it in, and after I've wrapped the bottom needle, I then use this finger to just push it through. Instead of just trying to pull with the right needle, I'm poking it. Both hands are working together. So in, under, over, out and off. In, under, over, out and off. And then you have finished your very first row. So on this side it looks nice cable. On this side you'll have a row of knotty bits, and that's really what knit stitch is. It's also called garter stitch. So we start another row. Now this is where a lot of beginner knitters make the mistake. So you see that big ugly loop there? That's what you're going to have at the start of your row regardless, so don't worry about that. It'll disappear. So we just go into the first stitch, under, over, out and off. In, under, over, out and off. In, under, over, out and off. And we keep going. And you know that great big hole that we had at the start? That's now disappeared. So don't worry about that stitch at the beginning. Some people think they've got to try to get rid of that big loop, but you don't have to. So you just keep motoring along, in, under, over, out and off, all the way across. And there we have 2 rows of knitting, of garter stitch. So both sides have got the lumpy bits happening now. So with garter stitch, what you're going to end up with is lumpy bits on both sides. That's just the texture of that stitch, which I'm really fond of. I like the texture. So I've got 30 stitches there. What's the uncanny thing here is when you cast on 30 stitches at the beginning, they really don't look like much. But when you start knitting, it starts to look a lot wider. So 30 stitches with, I've got a 10 ply yarn here that I've used, and I've actually used 5.5mm needles, which is half a size up to what you normally use. Normally use 5mm for 10 ply, but I quite like it for garter stitch. So I'll do one more row and you can get a better look of what it's happening there. You watch what I'm doing. The left hand is very busy. The right hand is not the only one. If you're learning how to knit and you're a left-hander, you don't have to learn the left-handed way because both hands are equally busy. So my left hand is controlling things. You know, we showed before how I was pushing that back out. So the left hand is feeding stitches up like this to the end, but also making sure they don't fall off the left needle. See how the left hand is working there? And then we've done 3 rows of garter stitch. So you can see that texture starting to happen a little bit more. And the scarf does seem to be growing, but we've still got the same number of stitches. Well done indeed. Now you can knit. You've got casting on and the knit stitch. The next one to go to is step 3, the purl stitch. But don't forget, click on the subscribe button for this channel, and also make sure your notifications are turned on so that then you get notified whenever we've done a new video. Let's continue.